They gave us a broken ship. We turned it into the universe's strongest war machine. When the Galactic Concord gave humanity their first starship, they meant it as an insult. It was a gift in name only, a gutted exploration vessel from a century ago, stripped of weapons, armor, and pride. A diplomatic token to keep the Deathworlders quiet. They didn't expect us to make it fly. They definitely didn't expect us to make it fight. 1. The scrap gift. I still remember the day they gave it to us. The alien ambassador smiled as if handing a child a toy. The Terran Union is granted limited access to spacefaring operations, he said. This vessel is sufficient for training purposes. Sufficient. Right. The Horizon barely had a working reactor. Half the hull plating was gone, the engines ran on outdated fuel cells, and the navigation computer still used physical input boards. The rest of the galaxy laughed. Humans won't last a week beyond orbit, they said. They break everything they touch. They were half right. We do break things. But we also build them back better. 2. The crew. We weren't soldiers. Not yet. Engineers, mechanics, hackers, salvagers, people who knew how to make things work with duct tape, swearing, and genius. Captain Rhea Nolan led us, a woman who once rewired a reactor with a pocket knife. Her command was simple. Make it work. Then make it ours. We scavenged from wrecks, trade dumps, and forgotten shipyards. The Ericsson traders laughed as we hauled scrap back to the docks. Why not just buy a ship? They asked. Rhea only grinned. Because one day you'll meet ours, and you'll regret asking. 3. The rebuild. We started with the hull. The old plates were weak, but human engineering thrives under pressure. We melted them down, mixed them with meteor iron, and forged composite armor that could absorb railgun rounds. The weapons came next, illegal, improvised, and perfect. A mining laser became a spinal beam cannon. Cargo drones became missile pods. The ship's emergency cutting torch became a plasma projector capable of melting frigates. And because humans can't help themselves, someone spray-painted across the bridge bulkhead. If IT ain't broke, you're not pushing it hard enough. When the tests began, the Horizon shook itself apart twice. The third time, it didn't. It roared. 4. The test. The Galactic Concord insisted on inspecting the ship before approving Terran re-entry into space. They arrived in gleaming silver cruisers, perfect, sterile, untouchable. Their lead inspector, a tall Seraxi with too many eyes, floated aboard and looked around in disgust. This thing, he hissed, barely qualifies as a vessel. Rhea crossed her arms. Want a demonstration? He smirked. Of what? How quickly it explodes. Rhea smiled like a wolf. Sure. But not ours. 5. The trial by fire. 2 pirate cruisers dropped out of FTL right then, raiders who'd been stalking the inspection convoy. The Seraxi panicked. Defensive formation. Shield the inspectors. Rhea cracked her knuckles. Stand down, she told the alien fleet. We'll handle it. The Horizon came alive. The salvaged engines screamed, the hull vibrated, and every jury-rigged weapon hummed with murder. When the pirates fired, our ship laughed. The shields flickered, patched together from 5 species technologies, but held. Rhea pointed forward. Return fire. The mining laser tore through the first ship like paper. The second tried to flee. Our missile drones cut it apart in orbit. The inspection fleet watched in silence. When the smoke cleared, Rhea turned back to the Seraxi inspector. Still think it's going to explode? He stared at the wreckage. I think. I underestimated you. You wouldn't be the first, Rhea said. 6. The rebellion. Word spread fast. Pirates whispered about a human ship that fought like a demon. Merchants spoke of a ghost vessel that appeared out of nowhere and left only wrecks behind. The Concord demanded that we surrender the Horizon for further evaluation. We refused. They sent a fleet. Rhea didn't flinch. They gave us this ship to humiliate us, she said over comms. Let's show them what a Terran insult can do. The Horizon engaged a force 20 times its size. They hit us with plasma, kinetics, EMP waves, and we kept moving. Our armor melted, our hull screamed, but we refused to die. When their flagship tried to board, we vented the docking arm and used the decompression blast to launch ourselves straight into their bridge. The battle lasted 26 minutes. When it ended, the Concord fleet was in ruins. We were barely standing, but alive. 7. The legend. After that day, they stopped calling it a Terran training vessel. They called it the war machine. Rhea didn't seek vengeance. She didn't need to. The galaxy did it for her. Every oppressed colony, every outcast species, every scavenger who'd been mocked for surviving on scraps saw us and realized what humans already knew. Perfection is overrated. Functionality wins wars. 8. The return. Years later, when the Concord finally sued for peace, they invited Rhea back to the same council chamber where they'd first given her the broken ship. The same Seraxi inspector, older now, stood waiting. You turned that wreck into a weapon of terror, he said quietly. Rhea smiled. No. We turned it into proof. Proof of what? She stepped closer, her reflection glinting in his polished carapace. Proof that you should never underestimate the species that learned to thrive on a deathworld. 9. The machine that wouldn't die. The Horizon never stopped flying. It became more than a ship, an idea. Wherever someone said it can't be done, a Terran engineer answered, watch me. Alien fleets spent fortunes building perfect machines that failed under stress. Humanity built ugly, loud, impossible ones that worked anyway. When the next galactic war broke out, every side wanted a piece of our technology. We didn't sell. Instead, we shared the plans freely with anyone willing to get their hands dirty and build it themselves. That's when they realized the Horizon wasn't powerful because of its weapons. It was powerful because of its people. 10. Epilogue. Decades later, I stood in a museum on Luna, staring at the Horizon's scorched hull. They'd retired her at last, patched with more stories than metal. Beside me, a young cadet asked, did it really start as junk? I smiled. Worse than junk. It was a joke. And it became the strongest warship in the galaxy. I nodded. Because we didn't care what it was supposed to be. We made it what we needed it to be. The cadet frowned. And what was that? I looked at the battle scars, at the welded panels, at the history etched into every dent. A reminder, I said softly, that humans don't build for perfection. We build to survive.